Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here with us today. We're going to unpack something, honestly, pretty wild. We're looking at how one quirky, kind of unassuming French car is just quietly rewiring the entire global electric vehicle market. Today, we're exploring the really incredible insights behind the Citroën ë-C3 and the broader Stellantis FaSTLAne 2030 strategy. We're going to take you all the way from the nuts and bolts of a single vehicle right up to a massive corporate vision. Okay, let's dive right in. So how exactly does a simple electric car rewrite global industrial strategy? I know, it sounds like a massive exaggeration, right? We're so used to seeing billion-dollar tech companies or hyper-luxury brands claim they're the ones revolutionizing the world. But what if the real revolution isn't a $100,000 luxury gadget? What if the absolute most disruptive thing you can build right now is actually something essential, stripped down, and aggressively practical? Well, that's exactly the journey we're about to take.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the urban workhorse, move into the hidden mechanics, and beating digital obsolescence. Then we'll zoom out to the FaSTLAne 2030 plan and wrap it all up with the accessible future.
All right, Section 1, the urban workhorse. Let's talk about industrial functionality. Okay, we really need to completely reframe how we view EVs. Forget that whole idea of a fragile luxury gadget packed with delicate screens. Industry strategists actually use a very specific phrase for this car, una máquina da batalla. It translates literally to a battle machine, or, more practically, a workhorse. The ë-C3 deliberately sacrifices those extreme flashy aesthetics and track-ready specs. Why? Because out in the real world, especially for professional fleets and heavy commuters, what you actually need is relaxed driving and insanely favorable operating costs. It's a tool, plain and simple, designed for industrial functionality. And this workhorse mentality, it completely changes the physical design. While competitors like the new Renault 5 or BYD Dolphin are out there chasing a cool, sporty lifestyle vibe, Citroën leans hard into its historic DNA, extreme comfort and pure utility. They've given the ë-C3 an SUV urban advantage. Basically, you're sitting a solid 100 millimeters higher than the segment average. That means easier entry and way better visibility. Plus, they use this advanced comfort suspension with progressive hydraulic dampers and specific density foam seats. It literally filters out the road, reducing driver fatigue, which is absolutely vital if you're driving professionally all day long. Moving on to Section 2, the hidden mechanics, let's look at the strategic engineering. So let's peek under the hood at the engineering choices making this workhorse so incredibly effective, especially for businesses trying to manage their bottom line. See, a lot of electric cars today are built on multi-energy platforms, basically chassis designed to hold gas engines and batteries. Those carry the heavy, complex legacy components of internal combustion, but not the ë-C3. It's built on a native BEV smart car architecture. It's totally simplified. It optimizes weight distribution to maximize your range. And by slashing the sheer number of parts, meaning way fewer vulnerable sensors in places like bumpers, it massively cuts down repair costs and downtime for fleet managers. And this ruthless efficiency goes right into the battery, too. Instead of traditional NMC batteries that give you peak performance but degrade pretty fast if you charge them to 100%, the ë-C3 uses lithium ferrophosphate, or LFP chemistry. This stuff is incredibly robust. It handles frequent 100% charging cycles like a champ with minimal degradation. Plus, it doesn't rely on expensive nickel or cobalt, which drives down the initial cost. For a fleet prioritizing total cost of ownership, LFP is an absolute game changer. To put this into perspective, think about the Canary Islands as a case study. Picture a high-turnover rental fleet where tourists are, notoriously, super tough on cars. They're rapidly charging them to 100%, aggressively bouncing down dirt roads to find some hidden beach. The ë-C3 is the ultimate resilient asset here. The LSP battery just eats up those abusive charging cycles. The 100-kilowatt fast charging gets it from 20 to 80% in exactly 26 minutes to get it ready for the next renter instantly. And that extra 100 millimeters of ground clearance, it protects the underbody on those sketchy dirt paths. It is purpose-built for this exact reality. All right, Section 3, beating digital obsolescence. Welcome to the Citroën Lounge. Now, physical durability is really only half the battle, right? How do you stop a car from feeling like a dinosaur just 3 years after you buy it? Well, Citroën's answer is the Citroën Lounge. It's an essentialist cabin philosophy. Instead of stuffing the dashboard with massive, complex instrument screens that distract the driver and cost an absolute fortune to replace when they inevitably become outdated, they stripped it back. They replaced the traditional dashboard with a streamlined head-up display that reflects right at the base of the windshield. It drastically reduces the driver's cognitive load. And the true financial genius of this design is the smartphone as hub approach for infotainment on a lot of the trims. The car effectively just borrows the supercomputer already sitting in your pocket. Think about it. Your phone gets updated constantly. So, by not hardwiring some proprietary, quickly aging tablet into the center console, Citroën completely avoids catastrophic digital aging. The tech in the car stays as fresh as your latest smartphone. This protects the vehicle's residual value on the secondhand market and lowers manufacturing costs at the exact same time. It's so smart.
Which brings us to Section 4, the FaSTLAne 2030 Master Plan. Let's look at the Stellantis roadmap.
Because here's the thing. The ë-C3 isn't just an isolated product. It is the highly calculated first move in a massive reorganization by its parent company, Stellantis. Following this roadmap, in 2027, they roll out STLA Brain and SmartCockpit. By 2028, their e-car project aims for the absolute holy grail of the auto industry, total price parity between electric and gas-powered vehicles. And by 2030, this entire FaSTLAne vision is fully realized, basically transforming them from a traditional manufacturer into a tech-driven mobility provider. A super critical piece of this is the STLA Brain technology arriving in 2027. This represents a total shift to software-defined vehicles. Basically, it uncouples the vehicle's physical hardware from its software. By doing this, the car can get continuous over-the-air updates, just like your phone gets a new operating system overnight while you sleep. The car's energy management, features, and connectivity can be constantly optimized. This extends the functional life of the physical chassis way beyond what we are historically used to. Structurally, there is also a massive transition happening behind the scenes. Right now, the ë-C3 sits on the Smart Car platform, which is an incredibly effective interim solution for affordable BEVs. But the real future? That's STLA1. This will be a unified, fully modular architecture for all B and C segment cars across the globe. Consolidating everything onto one global platform drastically cuts down research, development, and procurement overhead. It is the industrial engine that creates the massive economies of scale they need to finally achieve that 2028 price parity goal. And within this giant corporate machine, Citroën's role is evolving too. They are taking on a specialized governance role, which now actually includes managing the premium DS Automobiles brand. This synergy is brilliant. Citroën owns the space of accessible essentialism and comfort, while DS handles the luxury end, all while sharing the exact same technological backbones behind the scenes. This reduces internal competition and maximizes profit margins across the board.
Finally, Section 5, the accessible electric future. Strategic simplicity.
Let's tie all these huge macro-industrial strategies back down to earth for the fleet manager on the ground. The crucial takeaway is this. By stripping away superfluous luxury in favor of hardcore, durable utility, you create the ultimate fleet advantage. You get minimized operating expenses because the architecture is simple. You get a massive hedge against obsolescence through that smart cabin design and the upcoming software architecture. You get maximum uptime thanks to robust LFP batteries and 100 kilowatt fast charging. And you get high market versatility with that SUV-like ground clearance. It is literally a masterclass in industrial functionality. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We've explored some incredible insights, traveling all the way from the specific foam density of a car seat up to the billion-dollar software roadmaps reshaping the global market. I really hope this explainer has shown you how strategic simplicity can honestly be just as revolutionary as high-end tech. I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought. As we march toward an all-electric future, pretty much everyone assumes cars will just become rolling luxury computers. But looking at the strategy we've unpacked today, will essentialism actually defeat luxury in the electric vehicle race? Is the ultimate winner the car that does exactly what you need and absolutely nothing you don't? Something to think about. Thanks for being here and keep learning.